issue of tax collection and revenue collection within the coronavirus pandemic has been quite an issue that has been escaping the taxman. From July to December, we missed our tax collections by 107 billion. That highlighting what was the measures the president put in place, cushioning the economy from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. And if we look at exactly where we are, in January, there was this big pronouncement by KRA that they had surpassed their tax collections. Again, in February, a report released by Treasury says that, well, tax collection again rised by 24%. So if we look at exactly where we are again, it sort of signifies that we are moving away from what was depressed collections as a result of the measures that the president instituted to cushion the economy from the effects of the coronavirus pandemic. But what has been a talking point throughout that time is that even if we're pronouncing increased collections during this time, the exchequer revenue has been an issue that we have to look at from time to time, as indicated by what we're showing you right now. If we look at where we are in terms of that exchequer revenue, 2019, 2020 as well, which has been on a rising trend as well, increasing from around 1.4 to 1.5, and we're talking about trillions in where we are in 2019, 2020. So let's talk about where we are from, therefore, before we talk about why this pronouncement of us surpassing the collections in January and February, the 24% increase to be exact. So what has been our tax performance 2019 and 2020 as well? And if you see that, then you're going to see that the biggest contributors to that, which were payee, that is a pay as you earn, and the negative 7% domestic VAT recorded during that time, and also negative 6.4% recorded again during that time, and oil taxes, which were negative 1.4%, also recorded during that time. But if we go back to exactly what we are right now in the various areas of where we were, now let's talk about what this 2% performance payee really recorded, because if we go back to that, the 6 months to December 2020, you'll find that we only collected 152.62 billion under payee section of the taxes from July to December 2020. That's why we're recording this 2% performance of that specific docket of KRA. Now, if you look at that, that will represent 25.65% drop in receipts, and that is the first contraction in that specific docket for 10 years, because we know anybody who was earning below 24,000 shillings was exempt from paying payee, that is pay as you earn, and also the bands under payee were also reduced from 30% to 25% respectively for those who are earning that above 24,000 bob. Now, if we go back to where we are in terms of domestic VAT, we also expect that to also record a bigger performance again in 2021, because we know we're moving away from that negative 14% to 16% resumption. We're also talking about oil taxes. It's a very, very proper conversation that we should be holding right now, because oil taxes are at their highest again in 2021, because we do know exactly where we are. The conversation right now in the economy is how they are at their highest in 9 years, not just locally, but internationally as well. That is exactly what shows where we are in terms of where KRA is really in terms of getting back on track in their revenue collections. But whether this is an indication that the economy is coming back or not is a conversation that we need to have, because we do know the magic number by Treasury, 6.2% resumption, but the extension of the curfew and also the observation of this coronavirus measures that will also see pubs and restaurants close at 9 p.m. Maybe that is a conversation that we need to look at on a proper scale. All right, so let's see what has been the overall trend in tea auction prices across the country. Do we have that data, Richie, if you can? Good, that's where we are. In terms of the tea auction price trend, if you look at it from 2018 to 2020, well, you can say that if you look at where we are, really, all the way from the quarter one of 2018, probably up to quarter one of 2019, those prices were falling, albeit rising probably in quarter three and quarter four, but the general trend was that the prices were falling. But if you look at them from quarter one of 2020 all the way to quarter three of 2020, then you can actually say, wow, that while they have been rising, despite that little trend where we are right now in terms of them falling marginally, good, the general trend will indicate that they have been rising. Now, the news around this is also what we have under the Tea laws of 2020 that was supposed to be the Tea Act of 2020, where KTDA is a bigger player in terms of deciding what the general prices of tea in the country would be. Now, let's talk about why this is important. Let's cross over to what we have in the annual average volume of tea export as well, which has been on an increasing trend. And if you go to value of export as well, then you're going to say that, wow, it also records the same trend, because tea value sometimes or generally will correspond to volume as well. Fantastic. Now, the news that KTDA is now raising tea farmers' pay by 5 shillings per kilo. It's like Mount Kenya region is bound to, if you are in the Mount Kenya region, if we're talking about Murang'a, Embu, Meru, and the Kirinyaga counties, then you're going to be paid 21 shillings per kilo from the normal 16 shillings. All right, as from of January 2021. And if you look at that, this is in correspondence to a directive from the Ministry of Agriculture to have the farmers get paid 50% of the total value of their tea, with the remainder or the bonus to be paid within the financial year. All right. And if you look at where we are, if you talk about this tea auction and trend that you're seeing here, well, you could say the prices have dipped 13.3% in the last 7 months in the global and the local market. And this is owed to the favorable weather that has led to an increase in the volumes of tea in the market, which in turn would therefore affect the price that we're getting from that general trade. Good. This morning, though, the conversation that would really make sense is what KTDA is in this Tea Act of 2020. Now, the president, we do know, has called for an audit into the activities of all the tea directors. And he has asked the Interior CS, Attorney General, and also the Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Peter Munya to actually table a report in the next 60 days that would investigate, number one, price control, mismanagement, and the various investments that tea directors of the various tea factories get into. Now, there are fears allayed in the tea sector that some of them have been mismanaged, with some of them taking loans in the names of the tea farmers, with the tea farmers getting a raw deal. Now, if you remember, this is a conversation that the president started around March 2020 when we were getting into the coronavirus period, when he also said that all tea actions were to be done locally. Whether this is a response to that, we're yet to say. What we do know is that you can talk to us here at Metropol TV, business M20146, your SMS line at Metropol TV KE across all your social media platforms. Welcome. If you're in Nairobi, to a rainy morning, hopefully you're enjoying the cooler weather after days of extreme sunshine in the capital city. But if you're joining us from whatever it is that you're watching across the country and online, welcome. Hopefully you're enjoying your weather as well. Our 2 hours therefore should begin now.